Welcome back to another episode of the Supeologists Podcast. I'm your host, Nico, and this is the show where we dive deep into all things superhero. Whether you're about all things Marvel, DC, or not, you've come to the right place. Today we've got a fun episode for you as we're diving into the third season of the Amazon Prime TV show Invincible. Today we'll be discussing and reviewing the first 3 episodes of Season 3. Just a fair warning, there will be spoilers at the end of the episode, but there will be plenty of time and warnings before we get to that part. But without further ado, this week, the Supeologists Podcast brings you Super-Invincible-Man. Before we dive in, let's take a quick look at what's in store for this week's episode. Now, this is a review episode. With that being said, we do these a little differently than our regular episodes. Our review episodes are released 2 weeks after the show or movie that we review is released to give you, our listeners, plenty of time to watch the movie or show we're reviewing. This also follows the spoiler embargo, which is a 2-week spoiler-free grace period that allows everyone to enjoy the content without worrying about spoilers. Now, our review episodes are broken down into 4 parts. We start with 2 of our usual segments, followed by our discussion segment, where we'll talk about the movie or show we're reviewing. This is where we'll share any news we've heard, or our expectations and predictions before watching. Next, we move into our spoiler-free segment. Here we'll give you our thoughts after watching the movie or show, but we'll keep it spoiler-free so you can listen even if you haven't seen it yet. After that, we will give you a spoiler warning and finish the episode with our spoiler review. This is where we get into all the juicy details, share our full opinions, and rate the movie or show, all with spoilers, of course. We keep the spoiler-filled review at the end of the episode so you can listen to the episode before watching and then come back after you've seen the movie or show to hear our full breakdown. But before we dive into today's episode, let me quickly introduce today's co-host. Today I'm joined by my good friend Diego. Diego, would you like to introduce yourself?
So, Diego, I've been here before. Well, none of this channel, but
Diego was on episode 2, the very second episode of this podcast journey. He was on episode 2 of the Not Takes podcast.
Yes, sir. So I'm back for round 2.
Yep. Like any other episode, let's kick things off with our first segment. We're talking about the highs, the lows, and the random bits of the week with summits, slumps, and dumps. Alright, for our first segment, we have summits, slumps, and dumps. This is where we're going to share a high, a low, and then something random from our week. I'll go first. My summit, my high, obviously, season 3 of Invincible just came out, so that is very exciting. And the Supeologists Podcast has about 40,000 TikTok followers right now. I also got some new shoes and clothes, so that just makes me feel, good and happy with myself. Nothing like a good pair of shoes to lift your spirits. My slump, my low, funds are pretty low because of all the spending. And I am not scheduled to work this week or next week, so that doesn't help me at all. Not necessarily anyone's fault. It's just I, mark myself as unavailable because I am busy these next couple of weeks. And then my dump, my random, I actually have a few dumps. One, we got to see the new Fantastic Four First Steps trailer that got released this week. That was very exciting. I do have thoughts on that. I'm not going to share that with you guys this week. I might do it, if not next week, the week after on that episode. This week, just want to be strictly Invincible review, Invincible talk. And then why don't you share your summits, slumps, and dump?
So you want me to start with the high, right?
High, low, and then random, yeah.
All right.
If you can go
So
if you want.
I guess my high will be we're almost at 1,000 followers in our Instagram account. In fact, we've been working so hard, literally for months, and we're literally about to reach our goal. We're not gonna stop there, but it's like our first. Right. So you want a low, I guess, right?
Yeah, something low. Something, it doesn't have to be like a bad thing. Just be something that didn't go your way, or something that you weren't happy with.
I guess really, I don't know. Well, I guess this week I haven't gotten enough time to just relax, at all. I just been work, like nonstop.
Feel that? Yeah, no, I'm at school, and I'm either when I'm not at school, I'm either on the road or, doing podcast stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I feel that. And then your dump? Your random?
Um, we got some cool videos at Cars and Coffee, and we were literally so we went from Cars and Coffee to a restaurant called La Buena Vida. We went there, and as we were leaving, this guy in a Mustang just randomly hits a drift. Bro almost swerved and lost control, but nah, he got it, and it was just crazy. Like that happened like right in front of us, and we were like, dude, should we like break and just wait for him, or like what do we do? Like, bro, it was crazy, bro.
That's awesome. So that's going to do it for our first segment, our Summits, Slumps, and Dumps segment. Alright, for our second segment, we've got Supe-Cast. In this segment, we're going to fan-cast the characters of Invincible, fan-cast each other, and then fan-cast ourselves. Would you rather go first, or you want me to go first?
How about we do like
Alternate?
yeah.
Alright, so, I'll start. I'll fan-cast you first, and then you'll fan-cast me, and then we'll keep going from there. I fan-casted myself, as Invincible, because, I am Mark Grayson.
We do say that a lot, that you look like him, and it's just crazy. Like the actual looks are just on point, bro.
It's the Asian, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I also fan casted myself. Besides Invincible, to take it seriously, I fan casted myself as Amadeus Cho. He is a Marvel character who is a Hulk and who also takes the Iron Spider suit. So yeah, he's part of the Marvel universe.
So for you, I have Flash Thompson, and we're talking about the one from Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Movies.
So the worst Flash Thompson that we've seen in live action is the one he just fan casted me as.
Yeah, you
Great.
just look like him.
Love
bro.
that.
I'm sorry.
Love that. All right, and then the other one.
For me, I have Drax.
Drax.
Yes, I feel like big dude type thing. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't go that route. For you, I said I had two for you. I said Vandal Savage from DC.
Okay.
And then I also said Maestro Hulk. And for those of you who don't know who Maestro Hulk is, he's a evil version of an alternate future version of Hulk. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's an evil version of Bruce Banner and the Hulk from a alternate universe.
You want to start with the Invincible ones, or you want me to start? We can do you first.
We can alternate again.
Okay.
All right. So I'll start. Also, we'll do Invincible, Omni-Man, and we'll start like that. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So now we're gonna fan cast the cast of Invincible. We're gonna do some of the main characters. We've got Invincible, Omni-Man, Debbie, Oliver Grayson, Amber, William Clockwell, Alan the Alien, Immortal, the Waller Twins, Rex, Adam Eve, Robot, Duplicate, and Cecil Stedman. So that's a count of 14. So that means we'll have 14 fan casts for you guys. Starting with Invincible. My fan cast for Invincible was Ryan Potter. He played like the fan film Batman Beyond. He was the Terry McGinnis in that fan film. And then he also played Garfield Logan, a.k.a. Beast Boy, in the Titans series. He's just got that, I don't know why, he's got that Invincible look to him. He's got that Asian with brown eyes, and he kind of has the hair for it too. I feel like he would make a good Invincible, and he looks young enough to play the role as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And then who did you say for Invincible?
I got Derek Liu, which is the guy from Gen V. So
Gen V.
He looks very young, like Asian. He got the hair and everything. So
he is. I know he is one of like the top fan casts to play the role. That's a good one. Next we have Omni-Man. For me, I had two for Omni-Man. So just because he lost his role of Superman, I said Henry Cavill.
I thought about him.
And then I also said, this is a popular one, John Hamm.
Okay.
I feel like both of them, because Henry Cavill, because he's played that kind of role before, and John Hamm just looks like
they're just built.
Yeah.
I got for Omni-Man, I got Carl Urban. Dude, come on, he just looks.
Carl
like
Urban
him.
does look very much like.
Bro, if he hits the gym,
if he had the beard,
yeah,
he looks like.
And
Omni-Man.
if he hits the gym, bro, and he gets super jacked, bro, he'll literally be Omni-Man. in a second.
I see that. I feel like he's a little he's a little short, isn't he? How tall is he?
Uh, he's not that short, but I'm pretty sure he's also not that tall. So
But never mind. He's 6'1". Never mind. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. He just looks. I don't know why, but like in the boys, he looks stubbier.
he's got like a short body.
Maybe that's because he's always around Jack Quaid, who's like a tree compared to him. Next we've got Debbie. I had 2 for Debbie as well. I said Sandra Oh, who is the voice of Debbie in the show, and then also said Ming-Na Wen, who is if you don't know who that is, she is the voice of Mulan, I believe.
Oh, no way.
And then she also played, I think, Agent May in the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay. I got the girl from, she's like a old woman, but the one from that one movie that I really like. It's I forgot her name. Michelle Yeoh.
From Everything Everywhere All at Once.
There we go.
Gotcha. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh that's a good one. That's a good pick. I can see that, especially if she starts busting out some fighting moves against like all these threats, bro. I would love to see that.
Kind of cool.
Next we've got Oliver Grayson. For Oliver Grayson, I had a few. I was really throwing some out there because Oliver Grayson is, the younger kid, one of like a kid. So
he's basically a baby, bro.
It's hard to find one. Well, I did this fan cast based on like his kid version of him, as like not a baby, but like in his preteen years.
It's also purple, so it's like super hard to
You can
fan
just
cast.
make that. You can do anything for that.
But it's so complicated. I couldn't find one.
So I had 3. One, I had Jack Dylan Grazer. He played Freddie Freeman in the Shazam movies. The one that was on crutches.
Dude, yeah, actually that's a good pick. I forgot about those kids.
And then I also said Ian Chen, who plays Eugene in the movie, the Asian kid with the glasses.
Oh, okay.
So I said him as well. And then this one was just for kicks, because he does act, and he's pretty good in the things I've seen him in. I said Javon Wana Walton.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's a bit of a stretch, but that's just because of what I've seen him act in, he is a good actor, and I feel like he could play that, impulsive child that Oliver is.
That's it.
And Oliver's also aggressive.
True.
So he's also got that to him. Who would you say for Oliver Grayson?
For him, I literally just got what's the kid from Percy Jackson?
The blonde-haired kid?
Yeah.
Walker Scobell.
There we go.
He does embody him a little bit. I can see that too. I can see him playing that role.
Yeah, just like a little more grown up though. So
next we've got Amber. So now we know that Amber in the comics is a white character, and in the show she is a black woman. So I have fan cast for both versions. For Amber, for the one in the show, her black what's it called? Her black portrayal. I said the voice of her, Zazie Beetz.
all right.
She does. I feel like she very much does well embody that Amber. And then for her white counterpart, I said Catherine Newton, who plays the grown-up Cassie in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh yeah. For her,
and then I also said I had one more. I also said Chloe Grace Moretz.
dude. Oh my god.
So if you don't know who that is, Kick-Ass.
She's
the blonde girl
freaking
from Kick-Ass.
fantastic. But she hasn't like acted in so long.
I haven't seen her in anything.
I think she had like something happened, but also she's like in a new movie soon. So I don't know.
I've not followed her at all.
For mine, I got Amber as Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Yeah.
Classic. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't got the white version.
No, that's good.
I was thinking, but I couldn't find any, so I was just like, the typical. I'm gonna just go with Zendaya because that's what she looks like in the show.
In the show, yep. Fan cast music on the show. There's nothing wrong with that. Next we've got William Clockwell. That is Mark Grayson's gay best friend. For him, I said I really was struggling with this one. I said Noah Schnapp, Stranger Things.
Mine is just so terrible. Mine is Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid, yeah,
bro,
from the
funny,
boys.
Bro.
I feel like it's really hard. I honestly don't know anybody really
He just fits the role.
Nothing comes to mind immediately when I
No.
think about that character. Next we've got Alan the Alien. I have 3 for this one.
Gosh, 3.
Yep. First one I've got John Cena.
Okay.
John Cena, I feel like, is a fan favorite to play this character. He's just that idiot who could play Alan because Alien's just a goofball and ignorant as crap.
Yeah.
I also got Nathan Fillion. I feel like he could play the role too.
Oh, that's a good one.
From if you don't know who Nathan Fillion is, he plays I forget his name, but he's in The Rookie and he's in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and he's playing the new Guy Gardner Green Lantern in the Superman Legacy movie. And then my last one, I said David Harbour. Stranger Things, Hopper.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tough dude.
Because he's skinnier now. Well, I don't know. I guess he put on more weight for Red Guardian.
Yeah, ish. But he's still a big dude, bro.
He's still a big dude.
Like, this dude is tall as heck. Like,
and with Red Guardian, we see that goofball side of his acting.
So he really is.
I feel like he could portray Alan the Alien pretty well.
I got for Alan, I got John Cena because of the same thing you said. It's like a goofy person, and like after watching him in
Peacemaker,
it's just like, dude,
absolutely.
You used to see this dude fighting in the WWE, like so like serious, like a Marine and everything.
Yeah, he's also like very like square built, kind of like Alan is.
Right. So now that you see him like acting in Peacemaker as a goofball, it's just like, oh, so this dude is not really like that. He's more like nice and stuff.
Yeah. Next we've got Immortal. I really only see one person as Immortal in my head. I see Hugh Jackman when I see Immortal.
That's crazy. Because I got Brett Goldstein. I'm also like a fan of this dude. Like,
Brett Goldstein is a good pick. Dude, it's a good pull.
Bro, he's amazing. Like, actually, like, I've been watching Ted Lasso for the longest and now Shrinking. And just seeing this dude, like, getting his character, it's just so crazy.
And we're going to be able to see him in a superhero role because he's playing Hercules in the next Thor movie.
Yeah. He's still got that little, like, UK accent. I don't know if you noticed, but he's really, like, it's so obvious.
There's nothing wrong with that because Immortal has been alive for, like, ever. So I wouldn't be surprised if Immortal has an accent.
That is true.
Next, we've got the Mahler twins. I have 3 for this one. My number 1 pick would be Terry Crews.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's also a goofball and kind of, silly like Terry Crews.
And he's jacked. Yeah.
And then I also got Mike Coulter. If you don't know who that is, he was the person who was cast as Luke Cage in the Netflix series.
Yeah. Big dude.
And then I've also got Dave Bautista, which that one might be a far-fetched, might be a bit of a stretch, but
it's like a little shorter, isn't he? Dave Bautista gave me like short vibes.
Really tall, dude.
Really?
And especially now, he lost a lot of weight.
I haven't seen him lately, but I thought he was like not that tall. I've seen him. He's jacked, bro.
Not
like,
anymore.
that's all I see.
He's very skinny now.
I haven't seen all of that.
So who would you say for the Mahler twins?
I got Dwayne The Rock Johnson because, bro, come on.
I feel like that's kind of like very, very obvious. That's a very obvious pick.
Yeah, it's like something it should be there. Like it's just perfect cast.
Yeah, I think Terry Crews and The Rock are both top-notch picks. Next we've got Rexplode. I've got 3, really, just 1, I guess. I mean, I really honestly could not think of anybody as well for this character because he's very different with his skin tone, and then he's got like a red ponytail. It's weird. But I said Ty Sheridan. He played the young version of Cyclops in like the prequel X-Men movies. He also played a character from Ready Player One, the main character from Ready Player One, Wade Watts.
I haven't watched that movie yet.
It's a good movie.
People had told me, but like I was like, nah, it can't be that good. So I just like passed over it.
It's pretty good. And then I've also got Noah Centineo. He's pretty popular. He played Atom Smasher in the Shazam movie. And then I've got Kern Walters. Because Kern Walters is definitely kind of that prickish. He's got we've seen that prickish kind of acting from him with Red Hood, and, Jason Todd's Red Hood in Titans. And then who do you have for Rex?
For Rex, I have James Franco. It's literally just like prickish dude.
I see that, and he's got the long hair too. We've seen him with long
so
hair.
it kind of fits the role. But I mean, it's just like Dave is a little old now, so it may not fit. It may fit. It's just like a tight fit, you know.
Yeah. Since we've got Rex, let's move on to Robot.
Okay.
We know that Robot is basically the same person as him. For this one, I said Ian Armitage. He played young Sheldon from Young Sheldon. And then you said
I got Dave
Franco.
Dave Franco.
That makes sense.
They look
they're brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, I made it.
Sense.
I had to make it, bro. It's like they might as well because they look like each other. It's literally a copy. So
I got that. All right, and then moving on, we've got Adam Eve. For this one, I've got two classic. I said Sadie Sink. I feel like that's a fan favorite. And then I've also got Abigail Cohen. I feel like that's also a fan favorite. And then you've got who for Adam Eve?
So I think she's a little old now, but I got Emma Watson. Come on, she's a typical redhead, little crush. Come
on. Next we've got Duplicate. I have 3 for this one as well. I'm gonna butcher all these names, but number 1, I've got Riley Leigh Nellette. And then I've also got Brienne Zhu, and then I've got Chelsea Zhang. They're all just Asian females. I feel like they're young enough and skilled enough to act for this role. I feel like it would just be, and I feel like you could easily see like multiple of them for Duplicate.
For mine, kind of picked like someone that I just thought of, but it was like I was watching Shrink like not too long ago, and so the daughter in the show, she looked just like Duplicate. It was like exactly. So I got Lakita Maxwell for Duplicate and Invincible.
What? You said and Invincible?
In Invincible.
Oh, in Invincible. I was gonna say, you have the same girl for 2. Okay.
No. Come on, bro. I'm not. She's like a pretty nice girl, and like she's like young, so I think she'll fit the role. Ish.
Lastly, we've got Cecil Stedman. This one I've got 2. I feel like these are very, very well known people. These are very good picks. I have Bob Odenkirk. That is the Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And then I've also got Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
Love him. For mine, I have Christopher Walker, which is just, bro, it's just a classic.
He's very old, yes.
Yeah, he's just a classic, but people be forgetting about his name more than anything.
I honestly would have forgotten his name as well. Yeah, he's just, it'd be pretty scary for him to play the role because he's very old. He's like in his 80s now.
But he's also got so many movies, like him just doing random stuff. Like,
yeah,
he's just a funny guy too.
That's gonna be it for our second segment, our Supe-Cast segment. Now we're gonna be moving on to our third segment, Supe Dates. For our third segment, we've got Supe Dates. In this segment, this is where we're going to address any news we've heard, specifically about Invincible. So I have a list of things we've heard from Invincible, a lot of media, a lot of, titles and everything that we've gotten. First, let's talk about the schedule. We know there's going to be no mid-season break this season. We're going to get 8 episodes total. Episodes will be released weekly on Thursdays, and then the season will end March 13th. We got a trailer about a month ago. In the trailer, we see Mark training. We know that it's been 90 days, and in those 90 days, Mark has increased his speed 65%. I still see it. Increased his endurance 70%, and increased his strength 138%.
Wait, who makes this?
Makes what?
Who makes this, like, upgrades or whatever?
So Cecil has put him on a training program.
Oh,
And he has
okay.
been training, and he has increased his speed 65, endurance 70, and strength 138.
All right.
But increasing your strength 138%, bro, I better not see Mark get his ass beat in every episode again.
Well, he already kind of beat up Omni-Man, so that means he could definitely be on the same level-ish, right?
He did not beat up Omni-Man.
Well, I mean, he got a good shot at him, but he didn't beat him up. He ended up getting.
He got into a fight, and he didn't die.
Yeah,
But, I mean, then again, Omni-Man also stopped himself from killing Mark. But, I mean, either way, if he's got these upgrades to him, he better not get his ass beat to near death in every single episode again, bro. Because I will actually, I'll give him, one episode, because, if he comes up against, Battle Beast or Conquest, of course he's gonna get his ass beat.
How long has been a superhero for, though? Like
a couple years at least, right?
You think?
I think so.
I mean, I will say, 8 months. Nah, because actually, his dad left. They rebuilt the house.
Yeah, wasn't a 6-month gap between season 1 and 2?
So that means, it's a year, probably, a year or two.
That's what I'm saying, a year or two.
Yeah, it's a year and a half, probably. So, I mean,
but either way,
130%, it's not that.
100% is, you completely outdone yourself.
You
then
doubled.
Going over, bro.
I mean, yeah, it's possible.
And in that trailer, we see Mark fighting Darkwing's sidekick again. We see him fighting Doc Seismic and his Magmites. So we know we're gonna get some good action scenes.
Always.
Cecil is still working with D.A. Sinclair, and D.A. Sinclair is the one who makes the Reanimen, as they're called. They're the robot people. He rebuilds them.
Oh.
And we constantly see Mark fighting in the trailer. These Reanimen. And then we also see in the trailer, Cecil and Mark having disagreements and having a lot of tension.
Yeah.
We see a glimpse of a battle between them with the Reanimen inside of the White Room. And we also got, recently, I think it was last week or week before, we got a teaser for this season. And my theory is that this is the behind the scenes, as if it were part of the trailer that we get to see in the teaser that we got this past week. We also see that Oliver has taken up the mantle of Kid Omni-Man now. He has aged up past his baby age. We see the Guardians of the Globe and Oliver versus the Mauler twins. We see Alan and Omni-Man escaping the Viltrumite ship. Obviously, we finally see Mark in that iconic black and blue suit. So that's going to be great, because that's the beginning of one of Mark's arcs, I guess.
Yeah.
And we got some new looks at new characters and their voice actors. We've got Breaking Bad's Aaron Paul as Powerplex. We've got Kate Mara, the Fan-4-Stick Sue Storm, playing Becky Duvall. We see Shang-Chi's Simu Liu as Multi-Paul, who is Duplicate's brother. We see him in season 2 as well. We see Cobra Kai's Sholo Mariduena as the twins Dropkick and Fight Master.
No way.
Yep. So
what?
That's gonna be, and I believe that in the comics he fights them. Invincible fights the two of them with Rex.
They're putting a lot of money into the show,
and I'm all in for it. Yeah. They've had 2 banger seasons. I'm gonna let them do a third time. We see Ma as Mr. Liu, the dragon. And then we see Christian Convery as the aged version of Oliver. John DiMaggio as the elephant, who is a character we've seen before and we'll see more of. And then we see teased and redacted announcements of Jonathan Banks and Doug Bradley. One of which is definitely going to be Conquest, because if we're getting Mark in his black and blue suit, we're going to see Conquest.
Yeah.
And then we also see, there are rumors of one of them being Thrag, or I think his name's Brit or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're going all in on this season.
We are going all in this season.
Dude, every episode you sounds fight.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, this season looks sick.
I mean, that's one of the things I like about the show. They really did so good in the fighting scenes, bro. Mm-hmm. It's just insane.
Yeah. Has there been any news or media that you've heard that I didn't announce?
No, sir.
I think I pretty much covered as much as I've heard. So yeah, that's gonna be our third segment. Quick little soup dates segment for you guys. Next, we'll be moving on to our fourth segment. This is gonna be our expectations and predictions segment. All right, for our fourth segment, we've got our expectations and predictions segment. This is where we're literally just going to share with you guys our expectations and predictions going into season 3. And of course, we haven't seen season 3, so there's no spoilers yet. Do you want to start with your expectations and predictions, or you want me to?
So I still I think they're gonna show more about what happened with the people from Mars, like the little aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely gonna talk a lot about that.
More the Sequids in the Martians' background.
Dude, I mean, it's just obvious. I mean, they can just shapeshift, control anyone, bro. That's gonna be a big part. Oh, I feel like they're doing the same thing they did in Marvel with the little aliens
The Skrulls.
No, the ones that got on their heads and just like started controlling people. Have you not seen that comic?
What are you referring to?
There's this like one comic where the little aliens get on on people's heads. It's like blue. They're like blue and black, I think, and they have like an eye up here. You've never seen that?
That might be DC.
Is it DC? Nah.
Are you talking about like the starfish?
Dude, yes.
That's DC.
That's DC.
That's
yeah,
DC.
Yeah. So I feel like they're doing something like that where the world is gonna be like infected.
That would be cool to see the Guardians of the Globe have to deal with an infected race. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like they're going for that because I mean we already got one of the soups that is already one of them.
Uh-huh.
So I'm guessing they're gonna keep on working on what's gonna happen next with the little aliens, how to destroy them.
Okay, yeah, that would be very interesting to see if Mars came to get to the one that I guess betrayed them and come back with an army of Sequids or something like that. That would be interesting to see. But I don't think they would go that route because they're trying to the Martians want nothing to do with Sequids because they don't want a human to get them and then come back with an army of humans and kill all of Martian kind.
Right.
But I would like to see them the Guardians of the Globe and Invincible deal with a invasion of Sequids. I feel like that would be good. We see that in season 2, but I want to see like people actually turned. I feel like that would be very interesting and a very cool little plot to dive into. Anything else?
I mean, I really want to see what's gonna happen with Omni-Man. You see him get taken away, and we never know. We never know what they could end up doing with him. Probably restart him or something.
Right.
To the point where he's gonna be for them again, working with them to try to dominate the world or something. So might be something like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty interesting to see as well because we do see Omni-Man and Alan in that ship.
Yeah.
We know that in the comics that they break out alongside Battle Beast, but this show is also known for going slightly off of the comics, off.
Yeah, they try to go their own way, which it kind of makes it cool because I don't like when shows just go with the same script as the comics. It's just dude, I'm just watching another copy.
Know, right?
Yeah, so we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's good for especially this show. This show's doing a very good job of doing their own adaptation while following the comic storyline that.
You think at any point they're gonna make a live action, or they're just gonna keep it a?
So if they do, I would really like to see a live action. I mean, we just dedicated a whole segment to it, but if they do a live action, I would love to see it, but I don't think it would do the comic its justice.
Yeah, true, but I mean, they always do their own thing. So if they ended up doing a live action, I feel like they're gonna improvise the heck out of it, and just gonna make something really freaking cool. So I don't know, maybe.
Is that all your expectations and predictions for the show for season 3?
For now, until we watch the first couple of episodes, I'm gonna be like, oh, well, that took a turn, But yeah, for now, yeah.
All right. My expectations and predictions. We know that we're gonna get the black and blue suit, so I really want to see that ruthless Viltrumite that we haven't really seen yet from Mark. We see him, kind of go his full Viltrumite side. We've seen that at the end of season 2. We've seen that at least once or twice in season 1. But yeah, that ruthless Viltrumite is something I definitely want to see more of, at least in season 3, especially if he's gonna have that black and blue suit. And we know that in the comics, I know that in their attempt to escape the Viltrumite ship, Alan and Omni-Man team up, and they break out alongside with Battle Beast. Maybe Battle Beast is already on the ship, or he just so happens to be come in and at some point and break the ship and help them break out.
Use like a little guess from like comics and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you can also like that's like a big guide, but like just what we were talking about, like sometimes they just improvise and do whatever they want.
Right. Yeah. But this is just my like what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah. So I think it would be cool though if they did. So it'll be like a little bit like following the comics. So it keeps it along the lines.
I also want to see more depth and a deeper look into the importance of Omni-Man's books. Like I want to see like the reality of the books that he wrote, because we know that the books that he wrote were based on like true stories or like legends, I guess. So if we get to see like the realistic background behind that, like what those books were actually about, like in real time, I feel like that'd be really good, and it might even help us develop another plot or further the plot into Invincible. And we got to see Anissa last season. I want to see some of that Anissa and Mark lore. Especially since Mark is now no longer dating Amber. I want to see, because in the comics, Anissa really gets on, like, in you know, the cleanest terminology possible. She gets with Invincible.
Yeah.
Forcefully. Not really, Mark's not, you know, like, fully into it, but I mean, like, it's Anissa, bro. Like, have you seen Anissa? Like, plus, she also beat his ass in season 2, bro. In season 2, when we first see Anissa, she tells Mark that another Viltrumite will come in an attempt to persuade Mark to follow the Viltrumite Empire. My theory is that this Viltrumite is going to be Conquest.
Okay.
Because I know that in the comics, we see him during Mark's black and blue suit days. So if it's not this season, it might happen next season.
Yeah.
And I also know that I believe that in the comics, Bulletproof takes Mark's black, blue, and yellow suit. Like he becomes like, I guess, not the new Invincible, but he wears that suit.
So like copying him, basically.
Basically, yeah. I wonder I don't know the storyline behind that, but I hope to see that in this season.
Yeah.
And something that I've heard a lot of rumors about is Rex's death. We should see more depth into Rex and building a stronger relationship with Mark, especially and I know that in the comics that definitely happens in their fight between Dropkick and Fight Master. And if for those, I don't want to really spoil it, but Rex's death is pretty. I would say it's pretty iconic. We also see, I hope to see that Oliver, you know, goes out being Kid Omni-Man as like a troubled thing. Oliver going out as Kid Omni-Man and accidentally killing the Mauler twins. You know, that's comic lore. I know that. I don't think this will happen. This might be one of those changes the writers make because some people do like the Mauler twins and their subplots. I feel like that's something that might change.
What happened with the dude that travels in time?
Angstrom Levy?
Yeah. So I feel like they're gonna talk more about him in this season.
Right. That was gonna be my next thing actually.
See, I'm reading your mind, bro.
So the Invincible War is the biggest thing. In the comics, Angstrom Levy survives the battle between him and Mark.
Oh.
This leads to him seeking out other Invincibles from other universes to come and take down Mark in the universe that we know.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
But in the show, we're led to believe that Mark killed him because, you know, Mark's like in his feels and he's like, I did it, I lost control, whatever.
Well, we've seen him done that before, though. Like, Mark, he gets a little on his feelings and then he just, like, loses himself, you know?
But when Mark goes back to check his body just to find a way back home to his universe, that's when the Guardians show up and like send him home. So we didn't get to see a final look at Angstrom Levy.
Oh.
So we don't know if he's confirmed dead or not. My theory is that he's still alive, and that's how we're gonna get the Invincible War. I do hope that the season ends with us getting at least getting ready for the Invincible War. I don't really want it yet. I want more build up between Mark and the GDA and the rest of the superheroes, especially Oliver. I want that brotherly. If we get some like callbacks and what's it called? Parallels to Mark and Oliver as parallel to Mark and Omni-Man.
Yeah,
I
like
think that'd be
working
really
together.
good. I just want more storytelling, and then the Invincible War, and then maybe season 5 is like the Viltrumite War.
How many seasons do you think they're gonna make though?
I think it's confirmed that they're doing 8 seasons, or at least they're confirmed to have planned out 8 seasons.
The thing with like long shows is like at some point they might like ruin it, and it's just like so scary.
Yeah,
bro.
that's the scary thing about these shows that have long
But I feel like if they have like a comic line, that
they
should
have something to
stick-
go off. They have that
Exactly.
original material, right?
Yeah, and if people like it, that means that they're gonna make something related to what people like, so that
Right.
they will keep the show alive.
Yeah.
Because they done, and I'm not saying them, but like, there's so many shows where they just kept going, and they just made it so boring.
Yeah, the best example is Grant Gustin's The Flash. They had 3 great seasons, two definitely great seasons, 3 good seasons, and then the show really just dragged out. The scary thing about that show is that it also followed a comic line. It was its own. They had an original source material, and they went off that and kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen with Invincible, because Invincible is by far one of my favorite shows, animated at least by far.
I can tell.
Yeah, I know all this stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our 4th segment, our expectations and predictions segment. We're gonna go watch Invincible seasons 3 episodes 1 through 3, and then we'll come back for our spoiler-free review, and then after that, we'll end off the episode with our spoiler review. Alright, and now we're back after watching Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3 from Invincible. And as you can see, I'm repping my Invincible hoodie, the black and blue suit. I've had this sitting in my closet since Season 2, bro.
I know. I remember when you got it. I was like, damn, bro, that's kind of tough.
I bought this one, and then also bought a Nightwing one. They're both very, very cool. But like they've got like a weird fit on me. Like they feel like they're like long but very like skinny, so I feel like it's like I'm in a box. Alright, so first, for our first segment of this half of the episode, or I guess we can say our 5th segment, we are going into our spoiler-free review. So for our listeners, you guys can still listen to this part of the podcast. We're not spoiling. We're just giving you our general thoughts and opinions from the show, from the first 3 episodes. Would you like to kick things off, or do you want me to?
You can start, and then I'll go after you.
Okay. Just the first 3 things I want to say about this season so far. Animation's pretty great. I know that there was a lot of people saying that like this season there was a lot of weird animation. The animation looked very lazy. The only thing I'd say about that is that there was one clip, like one scene of like birds flying in the air, but all you saw, like they weren't moving. All you saw were just like their wings flapping.
Oh, I saw a part like that. It was when they were running. It was someone running down some stairs, and the stairs kept on like the background kept on moving, but the stairs didn't move at all, and it was just like so weird. And I was gonna call it out, but I was like, okay, maybe it's just like, but no, it was just like I don't know. I guess I messed up on that, but
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I guess they cut corners where they can, because like it's not that big of an issue for me, because they make it up with like all their fight scenes and like pretty much every other scene, because the writing for the show in general is so good, and that carries on into this season. The writing for this show is still outstanding. And the action scenes. Oh my gosh, all the fight scenes. There's so much hype around the fight scenes. Like you can tell when something's about to pop off.
Yeah.
And Mark dealing with all the things he's got to deal with, and him, becoming, the hero, and starting to develop some sort of like ruthlessness. It's so good to see. It's so
Mhm.
amazing.
When we were watching it, I kept on telling you, like, bro, this fighting scenes, bro. These
Yeah.
fighting scenes. Oh my god. Like, bro, they were actually fantastic.
Yeah. And I would say the pacing for this season so far is pretty well done. There are some moments when we're like done watching an action-packed scene or like a very hyped scene, and then we transition to a scene where we see Mark or other heroes like regroup and reflect on the things they just went through. And it's a very odd way to pace those scenes, especially like side by side, because they just hype me up and like my blood and like my adrenaline's
Hmm.
going, and then they're
They
making
just
me
dropped you
and then
like
they
that.
make me digest what I just saw, and then it takes like such a long period of just. We also get a lot of bonds and relationships being developed. We see new characters and old characters come back. They each of them have some sort of significance. If we don't see it now, we will see it. It has been teased for like future episodes. Um, there's also a lot of tension this season. A lot of tension among characters specifically. We see this in the trailer between Cecil and Mark when they're like when Cecil grabs or when Mark grabs Cecil by the neck and he goes, "We're done." Like there's a lot of tension around that or in the story behind that. But there is so much good like edge of your seat tension between Mark and Cecil and other characters. Um, it's just these 3 episodes are really good for that specifically. Things also do escalate pretty rapidly in multiple areas of the show. It's also kind of something that throws off the pacing for me because it starts off just normal and then something happens and like okay I get it, but then it just escalates way too quickly and it's like come on we could have thought that through, but I don't
Just
know.
like when. Okay. I don't know if I can say that. It's just
Yeah.
like there's so much happening. I don't want to spoil anything.
Right. But things do escalate pretty rapidly in multiple areas of the show so far. We do also get a glimpse into Cecil's life and who he is and why he does what he does in the GDA. That I rather liked that part of the 3 episodes so
When they
far.
did the little like story behind why he's like that,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked it too
I liked it
because it
because now we
explains.
have some like
Yeah,
information about you
and
know.
then now you're like, oh, that's why he does things the way he does it,
Mm-hmm.
and like why he's got a little like shady part.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Now we finally like understand more of Cecil. Yeah, absolutely. But we also see Oliver, and we see that he has aged, and we get to grow with him during his intro into the superhero game. Uh, we see him in the trailer with him becoming Kid Omni Man, so we know his powers have developed, and we get to see him throughout these 3 episodes try to control and use his powers responsibly.
And we see him in a new suit too, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's very his suit, but I mean all these suits are very comic accurate, and really these 3 episodes so far have been pretty well aligned with the comics. So if you know your Invincible comics, you could expect the first things that happen after Nolan says "I miss my wife" or "I think I miss my wife." You can expect what happens after that in the comics to happen in the show. This season also takes place 3 months after the fight between him and Anissa. So we get some context as to what happened there. Mainly, all it is Mark has been training to be stronger. We see that in the trailer. His endurance, strength, and speed have all increased. His strength increasing 138% is definitely well portrayed or well expressed in these
Yeah,
3 episodes.
they
We see that a
definitely
lot.
show it off a lot, and it was
Yeah.
just impressive the amount of things they made him go through just to show like how strong he actually is right now.
Yeah. I
It's
know when I was
insane.
watching it, when I first watched it, I was like flipping out, and I know you were flipping out as
Yeah,
well when we
too.
see Mark throw those punches at people.
Oh, dude, with the glacier too, when he went like, it was just like, damn, like this dude is like a whole different level now. Like he's not the same person.
Yeah. Um, And there were also a lot of parallels, whether it was between Mark and Oliver, like paralleling to like Mark and Omni-Man in the beginning of season one. We just see a lot of parallels from things like that, or just from single characters. There are some callbacks as well. It's just very. I will always like to see a nice parallel. I think it really you know complements the characters and the audience as well. What else do you have to say for our non-spoiler?
Well, one thing I did notice about the show is like, and I think it's because it's just starting the third season, but from the other seasons to this one, it's just like fight, 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 fight. Every episode, it's
Yeah,
just straight up action, and
yeah,
it's just I like that.
and
But
and that's what the writers said was going to happen is that we were going to get a whole bunch of like action-packed episodes. Every episode was going to be this major event
yeah,
sort of thing, and I do think it's like that. But I think that what they said was that it was going to end on like some like cliffhanger, and it doesn't really.
mm.
But it still makes you interested in what's going to happen next because of what happened throughout each episode.
A lot of the stuff that also happened in this season was we get a lot of stuff that we obviously predicted was like
Hmm.
relationships and people fighting over stuff that was clearly gonna happen.
Hmm.
So it's pretty not super predictable, but you still get like hints of, oh, I knew this was gonna happen, and it
Right.
keeps it like active for you. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for our spoiler-free review. Kind of keeping it short and sweet. I feel like we still gave you guys a lot of information on what to expect or what to see, what we get to see in season 3 so far. Um, but now we're going to jump into our spoiler review. So if you do not want spoilers, come back another day, click off the video, stop the podcast right now. If you're driving on the road, just, either turn off the volume and turn us off when you're done, or, whatever. Just, if you don't want spoilers, stop listening to us right now because there will be spoilers. All right, so now we're getting into our spoiler review, our sixth segment. Again, if you do not want spoilers, just turn us off. That's really all I can say because we are doing spoilers right now. I'll start us off with spoilers. I'm gonna go back to building bonds and relationships between characters. We open up with season one or with episode one with Mark and Rex. They are great friends, and we get a lot of banter with them. We can see how they've grown so much closer to each other,
Yeah.
especially in that first episode, that first fighting scene between Dropkick and Fight Master.
Okay.
And then we can see Mark care for Rex more, especially when he's getting beaten up by Multipaw. Multipaw was I feel like was a bit of a wasted introduction because he just comes out of nowhere, beats up Rex, and then gets
Yeah.
thrown right back in prison.
I guess they had like a little. It was. I guess it was. I would say the same thing. It was a waste, but also it was an intro to showing how Kate came back. You know.
I guess, yeah, that was a good thing. Now, yeah, we finally get to see Kate come back with alongside Immortal, and then they rejoin the Guardians of the Globe.
Yep.
Um,
After everyone thought they were dead.
right.
Well, at least
Well,
Kate.
Kate, yeah,
Yeah.
they thought Kate was dead. Immortal just left the team. They just want to retire because he was so, depressed from Kate's death.
Yep.
We also start to see a relationship start to develop between Mark and Eve.
I love it.
Mark finally gets the courage to ask out Eve, but the issue with that is that there is tension between the two of them because when Mark does ask Eve to try something out, try and be a thing, he tells her about the future version of Eve that he met last season, and that kind of spirals things down for them. But they eventually figure things out and start to give being a couple a try by the end of episode 2. And their connection is great because they're both in a superhero game. They both understand each other. They both are able to rebound off each other great. And it's just a way better chemistry read and dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah, just like Ember said, like they're from different worlds, so they didn't
Right.
match. So him being with Adam Eve was like more of a we're in the same world.
Mm-hmm.
We hang out around each other a lot. So
Yeah. It
yeah,
just made more sense.
yeah,
Speaking of Amber, Adam Eve does run into Amber at some point in the show, and they have an awkward but surprisingly like comfortable and chill conversation. Because
yeah,
Amber's not really mad at Adam Eve for getting with Mark. She expected it to happen,
yeah.
but she was like surprisingly chill about it. Like I think she said in the show, she's like, "Well, I'm glad it didn't happen the next day, but I always figured the two of you would figure things out." You know?
It was obvious. It was like a high school crush thing, like
Yeah,
Mark said. So it was expected.
yeah. Something that kind of just like was pretty quick and subtle. Rex and Shrinking Ray or Ray.
Uh-huh.
They start to get closer due to their shared trauma from their battle against the Lizard League from
Yeah.
season 2. Um, I don't know if you felt this way, but I think they're gonna end up dating. I don't know if they do in the comics or not. I haven't read that much into the
I mean,
comics.
if you notice, like when they came back to their new spot, well, the old spot where they used to be a team
Yeah.
before, Hugo's like, "Oh, I forgot that my room used to look like this," and she goes like, "You mean like you?"
Yeah,
And it was just like, they know each other so well. I feel like they're gonna bond and end up being together at the end.
yeah. I think there's definitely gonna be a relationship there, dating wise. Um, yeah, I totally forgot that. Yeah, they the Guardians of the Globe do split up, and half the team goes back to the team's old base inside of the bridge. I think it's what Monster Girl, Rex, Robot,
Mhm.
Ray. Is that it?
Well, Adam Eve was there, and then I'm guessing Invincible's probably gonna join them.
Probably, yeah. Actually, maybe not, because I think now that Invincible has the black and blue suit, he's more like gonna try to be on his own.
Independent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's trying to be his own thing, especially with Mark now in the game.
He's
Um,
also spending a lot of time with Oliver.
yeah,
Well, he wants him to be great, and I was telling Nico the whole time, like, bro, I don't like Oliver. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, but this kid gives me the vibes that he's so powerful. He could turn into Omni-Man,
hmm
but he's such a kid still, so it's so hard to decide, like, yeah, he's going to be bad or no, he's just a kid.
right. Yeah, speaking of Mark and Oliver, Mark does try to train Oliver and teach him how to be a hero and get accustomed to the way of life of a human life.
Yeah, but also remember that, like, Mark is just 19, so it's kind of hard for him, too, because they're both kids, basically.
Right, but he's got the experience of he has 2 years of experience in the hero game, so he's
Yeah.
trying to do that while also trying to not make Oliver like Omni Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Oliver has trouble on this front of understanding the preciousness of life because he still has like the Viltrumite blood in him,
Yeah.
and we see that pure Viltrumite in certain moments, like at the end of the third episode, he actually does kill the Mauler twins, which
That was impressive to me.
in my expectations and predictions, I did not think was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew it was happening in the comics, but I did not think that the writers had the balls to do that because
Yeah.
so many of the fans loved the Mauler twins' subplot. And another thing about the Mauler twins, they hate, as of season 2, at the beginning of season 2 at least, they hate Invincible. They were like, they all, like, when Angstrom Levy brought all those uh, versions of the Mauler twins to their universe, he was like, they were all beating up Invincible.
Yeah.
They all hated Invincible. But then in season 3, episode 3, I mean, I know they think it's Invincible, this new character, because Mark's got the new suit or whatever. But I mean, it's still obviously Invincible. They would still have that hatred for him either way.
Yeah, I didn't understand how people like can't tell.
Right.
Like it's the same dude, same powers, same looks, just different suit.
Yeah. We also begin to see Debbie date her coworker Paul from season 2. They pick up some intimacy, and Debbie ends up actually telling Paul the truth about Omni-Man and Mark and Oliver. And I did not like that at all. I felt like she should not have done that. I mean, I get she's trying to move on. She needs someone to talk to about all this stuff.
Yeah.
But she had that support group in season 2. And I know that like people were like, against her because, she's the wife to Omni-Man. Omni-Man killed all these heroes that the support group is for. But I mean, still, I mean, she's got every right to be there as anybody else.
But still, it's like a little risky. Because, I mean, I get it, you know this dude, but do you really know what would happen if he gets on a position where he's obligated to say the truth?
Right. Yeah. I just really didn't like that part of this season. That's probably my most hated part. Um, we also get to see Alan and Nolan, Omni Man, start to have some banter between the two of them as they're both on the Viltrumite ship.
Yeah.
Uh, Nolan is starting to be more empathetic and gain some sense of morality. But for the most part, we don't really see much of either one of them, though. I feel like they're saving their escape for probably mid-season, if not late season.
We do get to see Alan and see how strong he is.
Yeah, they do. Because the Viltrumites have this whole thing of wanting to know why this Unopan came back stronger, so they try to like dissect him. They dissect him with this huge laser, but this huge laser does nothing on him. It just burns his clothes a little bit. That's all it really does.
It was so surprising that even Omni-Man was like, wow, you're alive?
Yeah, Omni-Man was super surprised by that, and yeah, he did say that, yeah. We also get to see Eve and her family finally come to an agreement and become closer. So Eve is no longer got that failure and freak feeling to her every time she comes home. Now her and her parents have some sort of connection.
You see how she's back in college too, so that's
good. That is right. Yeah, because of her, disastrous events, making buildings, fixing that apartment, fixing the park in season 2, I think it is, or season 1. She finally takes up wanting to be an architect and figure out how to build things properly because of what happened before with her not being able to build things properly and the building and park collapsing.
Yeah.
So seeing her finally pick up some sense of, human life, still going to school, still being, a person outside of the hero world is very nice to see. I like that a lot.
Also, we do get to see how Oliver is very strong at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see how he literally gets punched by other superheroes and he just acted like, oh, no, I'm good. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like surprising because not even like Mark at the age of like 17 when he got his powers, he was like still getting punched and me like, oh, like, he was so cry about it.
Yeah.
But Oliver is just a kid and he still gets punched like a real man and he just takes it. He's fine with it.
Oliver is growing rapidly fast as the Thraxan he is, and he is starting to develop stronger strengths at an earlier age than Mark did. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for the relationship parts, the balance and relationships for this season so far. We do get a flashback scene with Cecil. I mentioned that in the non-spoiler review, but I just want to go into more depth about it. We get to see how he got that scar on his face and became the director of the GDA, and why he reforms bad guys.
Yeah.
Throughout season 3, we see Darkwing sidekick, and the Reaniman, D.A. Sinclair's Reaniman. We get to see them back. D.A. Sinclair and Darkwing's sidekick are both reformed by Cecil, and we get to see why Cecil did that, as opposed to just locking them in prison forever. And in this flashback scene, we are introduced to the previous director of the GDA, Director Radcliffe, who we now know is working for some other special ops organization thing. I think I would really like to see more of him, because I would love to see that character do more in the show.
And well, you saw he says he's like in another group.
Right.
So what do they do? What is he doing now?
Seeing that and how that would apply to the story at this point would be pretty interesting to see. There are still some unanswered questions. Like in episode 1, we see a mole in the GDA. Who is he reporting to? Is he reporting to Like who? We do know at the end of season 3 that Angstrom Levy is alive and still spying on Mark.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's giving that information to Angstrom Levy or not.
Yeah, it could be. But also, we do get to see a lot of new people coming into the game, like those twins that well, he low-key killed them afterwards, but Cecil was like talking about his past, and he goes like he was thinking the same way that Mark is thinking right now, and he killed those two enemies at the point.
I think it's like Force Fist and something Knuckles.
Yeah, so he killed them. He goes to jail for like a little bit. Dude, he like turned that jail upside down. Like it used to be like a terrible place, and he just like made it so clean. He had people cleaning the like floor for him.
Yeah,
whoa.
That was a great visual for Cecil. So in that flashback, yeah, Cecil was still an agent in the field, and he went to go find Force Fist and his sister, who were releasing some sort of toxic chemical or whatever into the air. That's how he gets that scar on his cheek. And because of that interaction, he now knows that these two people are crazy and evil. But then we get a flashback again into the future a little bit. Cecil is now trying to save the director Radcliffe from the Lizard League. And they run into those Force Fist and his sister again, but they're reformed. Radcliffe said that they're reformed. And that kind of thought that these guys are criminals. Why are they now all of a sudden good guys? I don't believe this. And then he ends up killing them, goes to jail, and reforming the jail into a better place. That just shows how good of a leader he is, and how he would fit the role of director of the GDA. And yes, absolutely, that kind of callback, that parallel from Cecil not thinking that rehabilitating bad guys is a good idea, similar to how Mark thinks that rehabilitating D.A. Sinclair and Darkwing sidekick are not good. Those are both very good. That's a very good parallel as well.
Also, we saw, I don't know if you noticed, but we saw again the White Room.
Right, we see the White Room again, yeah.
It's not the only one, though. There's more than one. Because if you notice, when he turned the white light off, basically, it was like this whole other like world in it. But then the one from the other season, I remember that when he turned, we get to see the White Room with the light off. It was more like a whole lab.
Right.
And they were working in the lab. They had people working in it. But this time, it was a whole different scenario. So there could be more than one. And that also shows how Cecil is really scared of Mark. Because, I mean, he says it, but it's just like he has so many things that he doesn't want to tell him.
Yeah, that's one of those, like quick escalation moments that I didn't like. Because Mark sees Darkwing sidekick and D.A. Sinclair's Reaniman back outside of prison, and he freaks out. Like, I understand, like, yeah, they should still be in jail, but cut them a little bit of credit because they just saved your life. But he, like, flips out and breaks into the Pentagon and goes after Cecil to have a conversation. And then Cecil's like, calm down, let's talk like civilized people. Yeah. Completely understand that. But then Mark persists, and then he, like, kind of, like he's not attacking him, he's just trying to have a conversation. Like, Mark's just trying to have a conversation with Cecil. Cecil's, like, running to the White Room. And
because
then,
Cecil was scared.
Right.
If you see him, it was just like, whoa, I don't want any of this.
Right, yeah, of course he was scared. Of course he would take precautions. But then he, like, tells Mark, like, don't become the bad guy. But, like, he was just having a conversation. And then Mark was like, I'm not even doing anything. And then the Reaniman grabs him and then tries to fight him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not even doing anything. Why are we being so excessive? And then, yeah, it just escalates so quickly on both people's ends. And then Mark goes to the Guardians of the Globe and tells everyone, hey, help me, Caesar's trying to kill me. Like, again, a quick escalation for what?
But if you see it, it's just like, he flies out of the Pentagon. Cecil heats him, like he hit him with the little like thing he put into his ear.
Mm-hmm. Which again is also excessive as hell. Why
It's
did he have to
so
do that?
yeah, it's so terrible because you don't know what he's about to do, and you just straight
Mhm.
up boop, you hit him
Yeah.
for what? And so later on, he's looking to what he's gonna do, like if he's planning something bad against of
Mm-hmm.
him. But you see him just fly until he goes to the Guardians of the Glove, and he tells Robot like, "Hey, Cecil's trying to kill me. Can you get it out of me?" And I mean, Cecil just literally teleported like that,
Yeah.
and just started more stuff that shouldn't had happened at
Yeah,
least.
and then became a bad look on Cecil because he was still using that device to harm Mark. And then the Guardians are like, what the hell's going on? Now we have to defend Mark. And that's pretty much when the Guardians of the Globe split up. Season 3 of Invincible is very much that like Captain America's Civil War
Yeah,
type of feeling.
that did remind me of that.
Yeah, because both you guys split up, and you can see both sides. You can see reasons for both sides. But again, this whole thing could have been avoided if they just calmed down and things didn't escalate too quickly. I'm not complaining that it's going this direction, but
Hmm.
like from a viewer standpoint, ignoring the show's writing, whatever. Just in retrospect, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But and to take the course of the show, I'm completely all in for it because now I'm like, I want to see what comes next.
Yeah, it's looking like a 50-50. But I feel like what they're doing right now is keeping it entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
which they're doing a great
They're
job
doing a
at
great
it.
job.
But yeah, they're creating a lot of like walls. So basically, they're separating people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not against of it, but yeah, they're just like making so much drama about it. So I
Yeah.
don't know how this is gonna end for them.
But yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say. Oliver is ruthless. Mark is more ruthless as well. I can't wait to see more of Mark in the future episodes because we know that with Mark now in the black and blue suit, this is kind of like his Spider-Man in the
Yeah.
black suit type of era.
Also, I still can't get out of my mind the way that Oliver just went through the Mahler twins and
Yeah,
just
because the Mauler twins are like
yeah.
tanks, and Oliver just ran his fist through them. He flew through
Yeah,
them.
it was like nothing to him, but
Yeah.
he just went like pop, and he just went through him. He was like all covered in blood,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like
It was such an Omni-Man
yeah,
pure Viltrumite moment.
yeah. And so
Guardians of the Globe.
Guardians of the Glove, they were just sitting there, just looking at him like, whoa, like this is a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and he just killed them like
Yeah,
right in front of them, and it was just surprising to everyone.
yeah. I mean,
But
and it's even worse because when it was all done, Oliver was like, "It was an accident. I didn't mean to kill them." And then like I can get that for the first Mauler twin you killed, but the second one was surrendering.
yeah,
Was
he
like,
was
"I
giving
give up.
He
I
had a
give up."
broken jaw and everything. He was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, like everyone
bro.
could hear that. Even Immortal heard it,
Yeah.
and Oliver still killed him. And then when Mark saw what happened, he like flipped out and was like, "You can't
Yep.
be Omni Man. You can't be our dad."
That's why I don't like Oliver as much right now because I think he's gonna turn into an Omni-Man situation. But hopefully it doesn't turn out as bad.
Right.
But that's now something that we gotta start looking into. Like, how is Oliver gonna turn out?
Yeah, I'm excited to see the whole Grayson reunion. How we're gonna see Debbie, Nolan, Mark, and Oliver all in like one room. I don't think that's gonna happen this season, but
It is. It probably is.
I doubt it 'cause
Later on though.
I think it's gonna. I think it might be like the first thing or like the middle thing we see in the
Season.
next season
Mhm.
because this season's got so much to go through before we even get to that point. Shit. Oh yeah, but now with the Mahler twins being dead and now their subplot being gone, I think we're gonna get that replacement of Nolan and Alan. I think their subplot's gonna be is gonna
The Mahler
replace the
twins.
Mahler twins' subplot.
Yeah.
So it gives the fans something to still look forward to besides the Mark Invincible storyline. So I think that's gonna do the show a lot of justice by giving them that subplot.
Also, it was very quick the way they ended it. It was just like they died. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, go.
Yeah.
Oliver, you should have messed with Oliver. I mean,
Yeah.
Oliver was gonna clap your cheeks one way or the other, bro.
Yeah, it was just insane though. They just ended it like that, and it was just whoa.
Yeah.
To us, it was like it took us more time to react to it than they did to end it. It
Yeah.
was just like, whoa.
Yeah. And then, like, surprisingly, Cecil was calm with,
Yeah.
like, he was like, Cecil was looking at Oliver and was like, it's okay. They're superheroes, just don't know how to look at this, but it's okay. And then Mark comes down out of nowhere, grabs him by the neck, flies up in the air.
That was pretty cool.
But then Cecil has the balls to go, so you're teaching him the way of the family business, like Omni-Man did with just murdering people.
Yeah.
And that was just escalating so much for no reason.
I think Cecil wants Mark to kill him so that he can show everyone how Mark really is.
The thing is, the whole thing is that Mark killed somebody. He killed Angstrom Levy.
Yeah.
But Angstrom Levy's alive. So
Exactly.
now how are things gonna unfold? Because now Mark realizes, wait, I didn't do anything. I pretty much am not as bad as I think I am because I didn't kill anybody.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
But like, how is that gonna unfold when everybody else realizes that? Once Angstrom Levy comes back into the picture, Mark didn't kill anybody. So what is he guilty of? You know?
I mean, you see, he plays drones with lasers on it.
Oh yeah, Angstrom Levy is spying on him with drones. Yes.
A lot of them, not just one, which is insane. When he showed like the whole screen with a bunch of like little, it was just like whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say for our Invincible Season 3, Episode 1 through 3 review. Is there anything else you would like to add, or?
I mean, for 3 episodes, this is a lot.
This is a lot, yeah.
So just wait for the rest, and I mean, shoot, let's see how it evolves.
Yeah, and then the Supeologists Podcast will also be doing another review on Invincible Season 3. It'll be the whole season. It'll be a full review. It'll be a recap and review episode for you guys.
Yep.
So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But for this episode, I think that's going to be it for our episode this week. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Supeologists Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our Invincible Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3 review. Let us know your thoughts on social media and how you're liking Invincible so far. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you tune in next Monday, where we will be reviewing Captain America: Brave New World.